Hello. Even more DapperFella, back once again. And welcome back to another episode of FNaF World. This is episode 7. So if you haven't checked out last episode, or any of the past ones in this case, go check out the playlist on my channel that has each and every one. But now, and without further ado, sit back, relax, get yourself a nice glass of milk and enjoy. And as we have done with every episode, it is time for the last ever change to the teams. And as you can see, the team has had a complete and utter overhaul. We have replaced our current lineup with our overpowered characters, whom I will refer to as the Crazy 8. Shout out to White Cane Gamer for creating that name. You're a very creative guy in my book, pal. But anyways, the first team will consist of these characters: RXQ, Funtime Foxy, Nightmare Fredbear, and Springtrap. And team 2 will consist of these guys: the Crying Child, Nightmare, Regular Fredbear, and Spring Bonnie. Here, I am changing the chips I am using. And also, instead of doing full-blown explanations for the unexplained 3 in Team 2, I will just give you a simple explanation on what they are good for. For example, Crying Child is a good buffing character as well as a gift boxer. Fredbear is a simple damage dealer, whilst Spring Bonnie is an all-rounder similar to regular Bonnie, but he does it so much better due to his higher damaging attacks and his better healing move. You might be wondering, Dapper, why are you in the mysterious mine? I thought that area was a beginning area. Well, let me let you in on a secret. There is a lolbit shop here, which sells these shield bites. And what they do is, they tank a percentage of damage dealt from regular attacks, so we can have more survivability against these upcoming foes. And more importantly, the 4 bosses we are going to be fighting this video. The last of which is the penultimate boss, so stick around to see the fight. And here we are. We are of course going to get the most powerful one, since it would be quite silly of me to use one that would be less effective, especially against the bosses I am going to be fighting. The next byte I am going to be obtaining is the best variation of the boss drains, which is named Boss Drain X by the way. This guy will let us do a considerably higher amount of damage against the bosses. And here we are. The boss Drain X is pretty expensive, but luckily we can afford it. This will be a big asset for the fights ahead. And speaking of the fights ahead, we are going to be fighting one of them right now. This boss guards one of 4 buttons we need to press to disable the laser barriers at the Pinwheel Circus. So let's discombobulate this guy and send him back to the lobby. Whilst this guy may look similar to Bouncer, this fellow's name is Snowcone, a much more difficult and higher health variant. He is pretty tough, but we should be able to kill him pretty easily. There we go. Snowcone has melted just like Bouncer has before him. Just 2 more bosses to kill. And we can then finally fight the penultimate boss. Just getting a small bit of XP for my crew. So they are capable of taking on the next boss much easier than with Snowcone. Right, onwards to the next guardian. This next one apparently has the least health out of all of them, sitting at a nice and dandy 20,000 health. Compared to the other two's 40,000 health pool. This guy should be pretty easy to kill. Are you kidding me? Sea𝓰𝓸𝓸𝓷? Why are you back again? I kicked your sorry ass back to the sea floor in episode 3. How many times do I have to teach you this lesson? You abomination of God. What in the actual hell? SuperGoo. And here I was thinking Sea𝓰𝓸𝓸𝓷's name was bad. Right then. SuperGoo. I am going to pummel you as I did with your much weaker counterpart. And there we go. SuperGoo has been splattered onto the seabed to rot with his weaker cousin. As he should. SuperGoo was a menace. But now we have one more guardian to kill. And here is the final guardian. Overclock. This fella is pretty worrisome. Due to the fact that he has unscrew. But we should be able to counter unscrew outright. With the gift boxes. So we should be okay. There we go. All 3 of the guardians are down. Let's get to the pinwheel circus and defeat the penultimate boss. Wait. Are you serious? God damn it. I forgot to press 2 of the buttons. How stupid of me. I'll have to backtrack now and press them. That is so annoying. There. That's all 4 of the buttons. Now we can, finally, fight the boss. Here we go. The fight you have been waiting for this whole video. The big man himself. Security. This giant owl has the highest amount of health on a boss so far. With an absolute, disgustingly high 100,000 health points. Not to mention he is capable of beating my attacks like sleeves of cookies. Gift boxes are going to be an essential for this fight. No matter what. Fun fact. If we were to play normal mode like a weakling, our journey would end here at security. But since I am a top tier gamer, I am going to beat his metallic bum on hard mode like a man. None of that wussy normal mode stuff. Because on the even more DapperFella channel, we are strong. We are top tier gamers. And we will kill this boss. No matter how disgustingly high his health pool is. We have him down halfway. We are sure to beat him. As long as our gift boxes are topped up and our attacks are as strong as the great British stallions from my homeland, we will be able to kill security and fight whoever has been controlling this world and ensure they won't cause any more trouble. He is on a sliver of health. One more push and we will win. There we go. Security is now dead for good. We have been awarded with good grief 10,000 XP and 500 FAS coins. Now, one more boss is left, but we will save him for the finale. So please, like and subscribe so you do not miss the finale, and leave a comment down below if you want to see more. Have a good one for me, pal.